Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kadash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and, peace and salutations to the Oculus pushing this word throughout the four corners of the planet. Shalom to the elect. Barakadai Howard, Barakadai Howard Shai, Barakadai Howard, Barakadai Howard Shai, Barakadai Howard, Barakadai Howard Shai. Call along Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Alright, and real quick, you know, Biden did a address the nation today. All right, and um, pretty much, you know, hey, I'll I'll let the video speak for itself.
Just announced. Did Joe Biden just announce World War III live on TV? In case you missed it, Joe Biden just addressed the nation regarding the wars in Ukraine and the situation in Israel. And well, things are starting to get biblical.
We're facing an inflection point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make today are going to determine the future for decades to come.
So already you hear it, you know, basically he's in the spirit of what setting the tone. All right, you know, basically saying what the decisions that we make here today sets the tone for the future, roughly paraphrasing, right? And ultimately, this is this is him, this is Esau, man. When it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Now he's talking, you know, very calm, cool, and collective. What? But as you listen to him, what he's talking about war. All right, let's go.
Now, I want you to listen to some of the things he said and pay close attention to some of the language he used because it's extremely important. Now just remember, these words were chosen specifically by his speechwriters in order to convey the seriousness of this situation, and he even referenced World War II.
Let me get this. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye, Salakia, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares in the swords, and your pruning hooks in the spears. Let the weak sound strong. Yeah, so that's the time that we in. Prepare war. All right, the Lord is waking up got the angels down here. You know, Salakia for my my nose. A little my nose is stopped up. I'm a little under the weather, and I just been going through it these last couple of days. Hey, but through the spirit power, Yahbasha Yahweh we push through, man. We push on. Hey, we're soldiers. So anyway, it says what? That prepare war. All right, beat your plowshares and it says what? Beat your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. So that's the time we in. All right, where these nations what are gathering up for this final world war. It said, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, and the mighty ones are the angels, because when this third world war pop off, all right, that's when Yahweh Shah is going to make his his grand appearance. All right, that's when the Lord is going to crack these skies. All right, and get busy. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So, and that's the times that we're in. All right, the heathen. All right, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. Matter of fact, before I go to this, let me grab this. Where is that? Is this it right here? I believe this is it.
Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, Almighty God. I'm Rick Wiles. Today is Thursday, October 19, 2023. The Chinese PLA Navy has deployed warships in the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Russian Air Force intercepted 3 British Royal Air Force aircraft over the Black Sea. This is True News, your source for the most comprehensive news and analysis about World War III. Doc Burkhart is here with me. Let's start with the South China Morning Post newspaper in Hong Kong. This is today. Up to 6 Chinese warships present in Middle East over the past week.
You better reiterate that headline there, Rick.
Chinese warships have been moved to the Middle East.
Yes. So now...
Not the South China Sea.
Right.
They're at the Middle East preparing for World War III to be fought at Israel, Egypt, Lebanon, Syria. This thing is going...
And all those places he just named are in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. It said, hey, and did you hear how they basically kind of like Chinese warships, you know, in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, like that don't really make not the South China Sea, but in the Middle East. So it's like they kind of like scratching their heads and like trying to figure out like, you know, what's going on. All right, well, because at the end of the day, the Lord is controlling mustering the host of the battle. All right, let me finish this real quick. It says, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." It says, "Put ye the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full. The fast overflow, for their wickedness is great." So, hey, that's the time we in where Yahweh Shai is about to harvest this place, man. All right, why? Because the wickedness, of these Edomites have reached an all-time high. All right, let me get this. Salaki, bear with me. Salaki, bear with me. This is this is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of an Adawan. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. All right, and that's why, at the end of the day, they saying that China, all right, sending warships down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is catching them off guard because they like not the South China Sea, all right, but down in the Middle East. So they like, you know, it's kind of it's catching them off guard. But the thing is, they don't understand, all right, that the Lord is mustering the host of the battle. All right, the Lord is mustering. All right, is let me get this. This is this is Isaiah 13:4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of a nation gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. So Hey, that's why they're trying to figure out what's going on. But the thing is, the Lord is doing what He do. All right, you people don't understand that this is the Lord's movie. Let's go.
Hot. And they're at the Middle East preparing for World War III to be fought at Israel, Egypt, Lebanon, Syria. This thing is going hot. And this is a story I don't think anybody in the USA knows about. It shocked me about 2 hours ago when I found it. I had the same reaction, Doc. I had to look at the headline a couple times. Like, am I reading this correctly? China has moved warships to the Middle East? Let's take a look at what the South China Morning Post is reporting.
According to the South China Morning Post, Rick, up to 6 Chinese warships have been operating in the Middle East over the past week. That's according to reports. The 44th Naval Escort Task Force has been involved in what they say are routine operations in the area since May, and last week spent several days on a visit to Oman, including a joint exercise with the country's Navy, and that's according to the Chinese Defense Ministry website. The task force left the capital of Muscat on Saturday en route for an unspecified destination, state media reported. Now, during the visit, Chinese commanders met Omani military officials and visited military institutions, while sailors from both countries toured each other's ships. They also organized a basketball game, and that's according to the state news agency Xinhua.
Doc, Ray Dalio is a billionaire investor, has a large following, well respected. I don't agree with him on a lot of his political issues, but I do pay attention to him. And he put out a statement that China, the United States, and Russia are on the edge of a red-hot war. This is from a billionaire. And so he's warning his friends on Wall Street. This thing is coming apart really fast. A lot faster than most people realize.
So how is Ray Dalio responding to this? I mean, a billionaire wants to keep his billions.
Yes.
So what strategy does he have in place?
I don't know.
Now?
He didn't place it in the article. But he must be wondering, if I move my wealth after the war, will it even be there?
And where do you move it to? I mean,
where do you move it? But after you've moved it, will the money system even exist? This is why truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So truth, the whole truth, and nothing.
Salakia. He's going to move that money right to us. All right, the Israelites. All right, that money going to come right to us. All right, because our gates are going to be open continually. All right, all right, and that billionaire, if he's an Edomite, he's going into captivity. Right? So you see, the Lord is moving all the pieces. All right, and setting all the pieces on the board. All right, for this thing to kick off without a hitch. All right, Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, like he said, this thing is heating up. This thing is about to pop off. Now all we need, all right, is this chip. All right, hey, see, and that's what make the Lord the ultimate, ultimate war tacticianist, right? Because, hey, just looking at this thing, right, from a man's point of view, a mortal point of view, you like, well, damn, like World War III is about to pop off. Like, when is Chip gonna come into play in that? All right, because we thinking like, well, us as men, we like, we know the Chip has to come, but it seems like the Chip is like not even being talked about. But that just goes to show you how the Lord is cold like that, man. Because even though we don't know how or when. Matter of fact, let me get this. Let me get this. Right? Let me get this. This is Isaiah Isaiah 55 and 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Adonai. It says, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours. Salaki, higher than your ways. And my thoughts than your thoughts. So there you go, right? It says, for as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. The same way, the same way rain come fall out the sky, all right, is the same and water the earth and you know grass grow and trees and fruits and vegetables grow is the same way the word of the Lord is. All right? Here's the point. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the point of me bringing that out is what? Even though we see what's going on, and it seems like, you know, these nations are going to launch nukes, you know, seemingly any minute now. At the end of the day, we know that what that's not going to happen because the RFID chip has to be mandated, right? It said what we should have wars and rumors of wars. Be not dismayed, all right, because the end is not yet. So what? Something's going to happen, all right. Something's going to happen that's going to shake shit up, all right. And this chip is going to be mandated. All right. Hey, we don't know when, we don't know how the Lord is going to overall do it, but uh uh we know that prophecy doesn't, you know, prophecy is not going to jump. One prophecy is not going to jump over another prophecy. Matter of fact, let me get this. All right. This is Second Esdras 4:37. By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So what? Prophecy is all going to happen, okay, just like the Lord said it's going to happen. All right, now even though it looks like the nukes are going to fly, all right, we can tell you with 100% uncertainty, Salakia, 100% certainty, all right, that the nukes are not going to fly until that chip is made mandated, until the dollar falls and the chip is mandated. Now, so between sometime in the very near future, something's going to happen, all right, and that chip is going to be made mandated, all right, and before the chip made mandated, and this is me speaking as a man, I believe that the famine of the word is going to come, and once again, me speaking as a man, a lot of these prophecies, like the famine of the word, the chip ban mandate, a lot of these prophecies are going to happen, okay, simultaneously at the same time. All right. So at the end of the day, even though it seemed like, hey, we gotta wait for the famine of the word, and we gotta wait for the RFID chip, and Hey, we might be here, for another 2 years. Hey, no, that's not. Hey, because you see, hey, within just the last week, until the world has changed, and we're literally on the brink of World War III. Hey, what was going on in Ukraine was going to ultimately, which it did, but the hot spot, what we was waiting for was this right here. All right. So hey, and we here. All right, which will bring me back to my last video. Let's go.
Did Joe Biden just announce World War III live on TV? In case you missed it, Joe Biden just addressed the nation regarding the wars in Ukraine and the situation in Israel. And well, things are starting to get biblical.
We're facing an inflection point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make today are going to determine the future for decades to come.
Now, I want you to listen to some of the things he said and pay close attention to some of the language he used because it's extremely important. Now just remember, these words were chosen specifically by his speechwriters in order to convey the seriousness of this situation, and he even referenced World War II.
The terrorist group Hamas unleashed pure, unadulterated evil in the world. But sadly, the Jewish people know perhaps better than anyone that there is no limit to the depravity of people when they want to inflict pain on others. So let me share with you why making sure Israel and Ukraine succeed is vital for America's national security. You know, history has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and death and more destruction.
And the ironic thing is, all right, those terror and those dictator, all right, he's talking about himself, man. All right, he's self-reflecting. He's guilty of 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 the same thing he's accusing. All right, Russia, the same thing he's accusing Hamas of doing is he's guilty of. All right, his own, what it says, it's not I that condemneth thee, but thy own mouth. Right, let's go.
They keep going, and the cost and the threats to America and the world keep rising. So if we don't stop Putin's appetite for power and control in Ukraine, he won't limit himself just to Ukraine. And if Putin attacks a NATO ally, we will defend every inch of NATO which the treaty requires and calls for. The risk of conflict and chaos could spread in other parts of the world, in the Indo-Pacific, in the Middle East, especially in the Middle East. Iran is supporting Russia in Ukraine, and it's supporting Hamas, just as in World War II. Today, patriotic American workers are building the arsenal of democracy and serving the cause of freedom.
See what he's doing here? He's referencing World War II in order to try and convince people that today is just as dangerous and basically prepare for World War III. Notice how he never talks about peace in Ukraine. He always talks about the war, and that's no exception for tonight. But every time he brings up the war, he never talks about peace. He never talks about ending the war, peace treaties, or ceasefires. When it comes to Ukraine, it's...
All right, and the reason why he's not talking about peace, all right, why? Because the Heavenly Father, all right, what it say when the word, what it says, where the word of a king there is power. All right, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, all right, they're the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. So the reason why this devil never talks about peace is why, because there is no peace to the wicked. These devils know that they got to go all out, because what it says, Revelation 12:12. All right, they know that they got but a short time. So this devil don't have time on the side to sit back and talk peace and try to figure it out. He don't have that type of time. He's the clock is ticking, tick tock, tick tock. All right. It says, this is Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up, which is planted. And that's what we see. All right, America was born. All right, America ruled. All right, and now America is about to die. All right, the Lord planted this place. What it said, America, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. All right, the Lord established this place as a superpower, and now the Lord is about to pluck it up. It says, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to run and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. This is the point right here. A time of love and a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And clearly, what? We're in a time of war. All right? Hence, World War III. All right? And this is why he never mentions, all right, peace. All right? So let's go.
Almost like they really want this war to continue. What we just witnessed live on TV was the seeds of World War III being planted. The language he used is totally undeniable, and it was specifically chosen in order to get people in the right mindset. You see, he's drawing parallels to World War II, to the Civil War, in order to conjure up those feelings in people again, so that when the time comes, the American people will be begging for war. As you can see, things are not looking good for the future of humanity. But this is just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think about this? Do you think Joe Biden is just saying these things to sound tough? Or do you think he's actually planting these seeds in people's minds as a preparation for what's coming?
All right, so yeah, so you see it, you know, pretty much in those times. All right, this is Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Adawan, until the day that I rise up to the prey. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with fire of my jealousy. So there you go. So the Lord, what determination is to gather the nations, and that's exactly what He's doing. Right? He's gathering these nations down in the valley of Jehoshaphat. What it say? What to pour out His fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with fire of my jealousy. Yeah. So, hey man, hey, you see the war drums beating, and hey, the time, hey, we in those times. So with that, I'm gonna say, Shalom.